Hello, my name is Elizabeth Burke. I'm gonna go ahead and show the string challenge. Didn't necessarily complete it, but I did go through it how I have kind of learned to do it before, which is to write out what my thought process would be and then attempt to work from there. So I did not take a picture of the whole problem, just what I wrote, so what I had down, the partial code that I did make. So I will show you that. Took a picture, but I did not take a picture of the whole thing. So I hope this is enough to show where I was trying to go to with this. It says starts with what you guys gave us as prompts: the define string challenge, str parameter, and so that, of course, is already there. The code goes here. I went ahead and planned it out by saying I'll be using a for loop since we'll be going through a string. We'll be searching for specific stuff in that string. Then I'll need to know the length of the string. I'll need to look for an index equal to A and B that contains three other index between them. If A is found, I'll have to add four index, like four indexes, four spaces, including B. If found, the output will be true. If not, output will return false. So I attempted, as I said, to use a for loop here, and I just put in for index in range, the length of the string parameter. I I know this is not the appropriate code. I know it's not completed, but this was my attempt to kind of what I was thinking out and wrote out in words to possibly get the outcome. But obviously, if I ran the code, it comes back with errors. But I try to go by doing for index in range, and then put that in parentheses, and then I had the length of the string parameter. And then I said if string parameter index equals A. So basically what I was doing, I was using this in an attempt to somewhere in those indexes. So every single little, I know the numbers aren't here, but every single number in the string, index in the string, I would be searching for A. And if I were to find A, I would add four indexes spaces to include B once we got to B. And if it found it, it would return true, else it would return false. But I know that for sure there's other multiple steps that have to go in there. I am just not certain how to yet, but I have an idea of kind of like what I could do. I just need a little bit more knowledge and assistance. That is all. And I know the second part was you guys wanted to know. Let me read it exactly as you guys have it here. Tell us about a time you tackled something new. I don't want to run out of time, so I'll try to make it a little bit quick. Uh, During my time as a police officer, which is the last actual job that I held, towards the end, like my seventh year as a police officer, I went from a patrol officer to an instructor at the police academy, but not an instructor to new recruits, but an instructor to current police officers. So in service, that was a challenge on its own because I had only 8 years. Oh, I'm sorry. I had only 6 years on the job then. And of course, I am teaching in service. So I had a lot of pushback from other senior officers. And it wasn't just other patrolmen, it was sergeants, officers. And so there was a lot of pushback because who am I as a younger officer to tell an older officer or teach an older officer? So there was a lot of working around that. There was a lot of speaking one on one with the individuals and sometimes speaking on the spot because they refuse to have a moment and a word for you. Always, of course, keeping in mind to be respectful and willing to hear what they have to say and best answer their concerns in the best way that I could. I think that's probably been a very recent challenge that I had to face. I was no longer a patrol officer, I was becoming an instructor, and I had to teach everybody from the lowest ranking to the highest ranking. And I think that was quite a challenge, but thankfully I was able to overcome all that, come to an understanding with everybody where we were both equally respectful to each other, and yeah, that's use my training pretty much. I use my training, my knowledge of crowd control because I was in a classroom setting, usually on average of anywhere between 20 to like 35 officers at the time, all ranging again from lower ranking officers to higher ranking officers, all mixed in the group. So um, just that setting an example for everybody probably would be my, what's the word you guys use here? Something new that I tackled. All right. That's all I have.